Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our special live coverage of the crisis currently taking place in the state of Kuwait and the Gulf region. We're now joined in studio by our guest, Dr. Awwad Alnassafi, economist, professor of accounting and finance, and a financial strategy and decision-making consultant. Dr. Alnassafi is considered a prominent voice in economic analysis, offering in-depth insights into the impact of regional and global developments on markets, particularly in the areas of energy and macroeconomics. He also brings extensive academic and professional experience in accounting and finance, along with advisory expertise in enhancing financial decision-making and analyzing economic policies. Thank you for joining us today, Doctor, in the studio.
Thank you for having me here, and Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak to you too, sir. Now, we were speaking before we started shooting about these 5 nodes of let's say, technological points that you'd like to discuss. But before we get into that, the global energy markets are facing geopolitical reality imposed on them by this war. As an economist, how do you interpret this situation?
First of all, I need to just elaborate in what we are seeing right now. It's not another crisis of energy. It is a coalition between two eras. One era is which put the GCC countries in the top of the important oil reserve. This is the old era that we work with during the last 100 years. So the next era, with the second era, is putting the GCC countries, especially UAE, United States, Saudi, Qatar, and Kuwait, in the top of physical infrastructure of technology.
Okay.
So if we understood the cycle of the technology, it will be very clear point to see why we have this war right now and why it is now.
Could you describe this cycle?
Yes. To understand the artificial intelligence, it's not about apps, it's not about softwares. Artificial intelligence, it's about 5 nodes. First is the R&D, and here we will bring
research and development.
Yeah, research and development, and here we will bring up Israel on this. Israel is the highest #1 country in R&D in the world as a percentage of their GDP, and Israel linked their ecosystem and the system, especially with the cybersecurity, with the technology, with the data centers, all because Israel research, United States implement. So Israel economy now, it is 50% of their export is technology. 20% of their GDP is a technology. So what happened? It links their strength in technology with Europe and United States. So we have now an ally, United States, Europe, and Israel. That's why Europe and United States backing up Israel, because Israel feeding them with the technology, and their economic system built up with that technology.
Would you say this is part of the military-industrial complex?
Away behind the military complex,
okay.
Away behind.
Okay.
We are talking about Microsoft, we are talking about Google, we are talking about NVIDIA and Apple. All of those companies, and we have many giant, United States now has more than 20,000 companies in the technology. It's funded by the government and sometimes funded by venture capitals. And by the way, those companies, it is 4 times the companies in China.
People argue now that the AI and the tech industry in America is what's driving the American economy now.
It is.
In this current.
It is. Like to let you know that during between 2013 till 2024, United States expend more than $600 billion in technology and artificial intelligence. 25 alone, it expends around 150 billion. So 25% out of the 10 years back. Yeah. Why is that? Because now the technology is mature.
It's ready for public
mature.
deployment.
Yeah, it is. It is, and we can see the expansion now on the artificial intelligence cloud, Gemini, and other. That's expanding, and it's extremely different than what we used to have 2 years or 3 years ago. So this is R&D converted to be technology or a product.
Okay,
to be sold,
tangible technology.
Yeah, to be sold or a product. That product needs data centers, and that data center needs energy. Can you imagine the data center consume energy as big as small cities? Yani one data center.
A single center.
One data centers. Yeah. Can you imagine this? But they have a problem now, because the second nodes after the R&D is the minerals. Minerals is not available in the United States, not available in Europe, not available in Israel.
We see a competition between the US and China on these minerals.
It's not a competition. It's China controlling, out of 20 rare mineral, China control 19.
That's a monopoly on
and constrains the export of those minerals. Also, it's not about mineral. You can find minerals in Africa or
South
in Greenland and in South America and Saudi Arabia. By the way, Saudi Arabia and Oman now is doing a massive mining, finding those minerals within the country and investing in other mining companies.
As a joint venture between the two countries?
No,
individually?
on their lands.
Okay.
And other companies, they're investing in other companies beyond their borders in a mining companies to find out those minerals. The thing is, it's not about the mineral as a raw mineral. It's about the mining, processing, and producing the conductors, the semiconductors, all those things, and then shipping them or selling them. This is controlled by China.
So this is the third node you're saying?
No, this is the second node. The second node. This is controlled by China. So the competition now, it's not fair. So we have the R&D, we have the data center, but we need the minerals. So this is in China. The bargaining power of China at this stage, they can turn off their data center through not exporting their minerals. And that's why the President Trump fight for Greenland.
Because there's a big abundance of minerals.
Greenland has 35 minerals. 24 out of those 35 is a need for Europe and the United States. Another issue which we will come back on the fifth nodes is the roots, because now ice is melting and they're finding a route nearby the Greenland.
Yes, around northern Europe.
In the northern Europe. That's link Asia, Europe, and United States in a shorter way than the normal one we are using right now. So energy is available within GCC. We are ready, and we are ready also to build the data centers. And we are part of the negotiation between Europe and the United States to build those data centers within our area. And then we link Europe and then the United States with those data centers. The problem now, Europe facing, they don't have the money, they don't have the capacity to build or expanding their electricity infrastructure. So what happened? We have two deals. One, building the data center within our lands. The second one, we bringing our funds, or like BIF funds, Kuwait Investment Fund, Abu Dhabi Investment Fund, all to build or invest in Europe to expand their infrastructure on that, and building also data center within Europe, pure private investment. So at this stage, we are building a good relationship, and we are tying up with the Western part or the Western economy. But at the same time, we have a good relationship with China. So most likely, China doesn't like this.
Of course not. It's oil supply is a risk now.
It doesn't like this because it's not about oil supply. It's what I call as the counter architect. China, Iran, and Russia. Why is that? Those are not, they are trying to pressure out Europe and United States because Russia has oil and nuclear energy. Iran has a LNG as well as they have oil. But it's under sanction now.
But we're hearing reports that the U.S. is going to open Iranian oil to the
and
markets.
this is the contradict between strategic pressure and the market need.
Yes.
Now, trying
so what can you tell us about this contradiction and this balancing?
That is the main problem now we have. United States under the pressure of the energy pricing getting so high, as well as another pressure to bring Iran to the Western market. That's the problem. And this is the strategic pressure. But now it is. I don't think it will be returned back again. I mean, this is for once, system? And it's in the vessel, only in the vessels, and that's it. But it's emotional effect on the market. It won't make a big difference, but it's emotional effect.
Well, we're seeing a lot of responses from the IEA, the US, and European members releasing a lot of their energy reserves to sort of hold prices
strategic
down.
Yeah.
This can only go for so long until
the problem. It's not releasing. The problem is the supply uncertainties now.
The supply uncertainties.
Yeah, this is the problem. Supply uncertainty is a major issue now, and the consumer psychology.
So how will this uncertainty affect the consumer psychology?
See, to understand why the prices spike, we have an issue of supply uncertainties because Hormuz is blocked. Oil fields under attack. So with Hormuz, it's 20% of oil going through Hormuz, and no extra capacity anywhere beside the GCC.
Or minimal capacity to move it outside.
No countries in the world has extra capacity about than GCC.
To fill the shortfall.
To fill the shortage.
Okay.
Nothing. Only GCC can fill the shortage. And if you allow me, I can just explain why Iran expanding the proxy war in Lebanon through Hezbollah and Yemen through Houthi. This is to control the routes, the fifth nodes, to control the routes.
The Houthis announced that they will now directly be involved and close Bab el-Mandeb.
This is to control the routes because data, everybody, any country in the world, if you just block the data, banking system will not work, financial market will not work, government cannot work, because we all work with this technology.
Yes.
We cannot work without it. Cutting the cables will create a big mess to us. So that's why the proxy war, it's just a sign. And being in Syria and controlling Iraq, that's mean controlling Iraq, that's mean taking out part of the oil to supply uncertainties. Being in Yemen and Lebanon, that's Lebanon in the Mediterranean Sea, and Syria in the Mediterranean Sea, cutting cables. And Yemen will be two roles, Bab el-Mandeb and cables.
Yes.
And this will clarify why Israel going to Somaliland.
As sort of a counter to the Houthis.
Why is that? Because they need to secure their cables. They need to, and that's why they went to southern Yemen.
So do you believe that they will actually carry out the threat of cutting the cables?
I believe yes. If this war is not going in the right direction and what they want, they have nothing to lose anyway. The Iranian now in a position they have nothing to lose.
It's an existential war for them.
And by the way, the revolutionary arms have almost 40% of Iran GDP. they will not give it to you away. Because any discussion about stopping this war, it will be on their cost.
Can you tell us a little bit about how the closure in the Strait is affecting the Asian market and the Asian geopolitical theater right now?
See, let's go to China now to see how it works. Oil going to 3 countries, Japan, China, Korea. Southern Korea. All those countries involved with the technologies. No oil, that's mean no production. No production mean less supply in the market with those technology.
Output.
What happened? We cannot work without it. We cannot work without it. That's the problem. And we like it or not, as long as this corridor is not open and clean out the problem, I think within the next 2 months or 3 months, we will face the problem with the technology. With the technology, not with the foods, not with the supplies or the trading, normal trading.
Technological services.
We will face the technological services. That's the problem. Another way, we will also face an inflation.
Yes.
Big inflation.
Yes.
And inflation is not...
It's not easy to deal with.
Why we are not able to deal with that inflation? Because usually we work with one variable with inflation. Cutting interest, increasing interest, and that's it. Now we have more than one variable. And what is called compound variable now.
Okay.
So compound variable, it will be a big mess to any central bank to solve.
Could you list out some of these variables that we're dealing with now?
Uncertainty, supply uncertainties, shipment
Uncertainty.
problem, insurance. And by the way, when the insurance company, the underwriters, increase the insurance on any zone, that always affect the psychology of the consumers. Then they will hold the investment. So it is conflict zone, so I will put hold on investment. What happened? So now in GCC, we'll take, for example, Kuwait, for example. So we are trying in our vision to diversify our economy. We cannot do that because we don't have oil now. It's blocked. Technology, no one able to come and invest on a conflict zone. So future uncertainty.
Which is the worst thing for markets.
Exactly, because people would like to see, build a confidence.
Whether it's good or bad, they want to know what the plan is for the future.
Yeah, confident. So we don't have confidence now in the market. So all those variables will bring up the inflation high. And the worst thing is, it will react in a second.
Correct.
But the government policy taking time to solve this.
Yes, there's a lag between the realities and the government reaction.
It is. That's a problem. So when we talk about that, we would like to put some issues about Iran. Iran choose to be with that counter architecture. Even they are choosing to be there, they are losing anyway. Why? They are selling their oil with discount to China, bringing Chinese, being under control of Chinese currencies, technologies, everything. See, the risk thing is when you apply technology and embed all the technology within your system. That technology you cannot get away from.
So are you saying that the world is splitting into 2 technological systems?
Exactly.
It would be the US and the Chinese technology?
The Western and the Chinese technology. See, imagine that's, and by the way, all GCC is under pressure now from the Western technology to get away from the Chinese. But we will not be able to, because we need security. We cannot build our system with one system.
It's better to diversify.
Exactly. This is our sovereign security. We need to build this. And also, we have a good relationship with China. We don't want to mess with China also.
Correct.
China is a trading partner. It's buying our main products, and it's helping in mega projects. Still, we are in an area, in a connection between China and Europe
West.
and US. So we believe that we can build a mutual agreement and show a standards of everybody can work with everybody. Because GCC, during the last 100 years, GCC proved to be the trusted partner in oil supply.
Between the East and the Western worlds.
That's that East, West, anywhere. We are a trusted partner. We never default. We never involve in any tension that's affect, and we never taking the oil as diplomatic tools or cards on our activities. We believe on economic development for everybody, and we believe that economic development for everybody that will return back to us. And that's why we are the only place in the world enjoying the lifestyle, enjoying the infrastructure we are on. I think no country in the world has that's the relaxing for their population, for their people.
The quality of life.
Exactly. And this is our goal, and this is what we want to do.
Doctor, you brought up this point of sovereignty. Would you say it is appropriate to say that the current struggle with, as you're saying, diversifying the Western and the Eastern, the Chinese technological system, is there a question of sovereignty being put onto this now?
Yeah.
Because of the risks of having the Western assets and Western system?
I think it is a must now to build two systems.
How would that look, having two systems?
I'm not a technology guy that can tell you this, but from the security perspective, we need to build something like that. Why is that? Let's give you the Russian example. When sanctions come in Russia, so they blocked their transfer
on the SWIFT.
On the SWIFT. So before doing that, Russia was very smart to understand this can be done.
This is coming
so they built a SWIFT system.
Is it called KIPS or CRISPs?
I can't recall the name, but they built a system between their partners or trading partners, so to avoid that system. So technology now, we need our cables, we need our system, we need to localize even our cloud, localize our platforms. Otherwise, we will be monitored, we will be controlled, we will be switched.
It's a security risk.
It is security.
This is a growing notion of a local regionalized effort in organizations in terms of defense, technology, maritime operations. Do you believe this is the way to go? This is going to be the future of the region?
It is a must. It is a must, especially those days, because we have the American base here, and we find out that we face an attack, and we are fighting to secure our nation on that. And the United States now are fighting for their interest, not for us, not for our interest. And by the way, I believe something else on this, but I have no proof at this stage.
Okay.
Because I believe that's because we will be the data to understand what we will be on the future. And instead of selling energy or barrel of oil, we will sell clouding
units
hours.
Of clouding.
We will sell clouding hours
so
through
we
the
will
cables.
become the international data center.
Data centers, exactly. So being a data centers, fluctuation of oil prices is not helping the data center anyway. It will increase the prices for the data built on United States, in Europe, and because China is tied by Iran, with Iran, it received energy cheaper with a discount that it will be competing there. It's not making United States happy or Israel or European Union happy. So what happened, we come out with an agreement with them to build the data center here. But I feel that it is part of their bargaining power to put us in pressure to get some benefit on the cost of the energy.
So as a bargaining chip for a favorable deal.
Exactly.
But do you also believe that this notion of us being the data center of the world could be a possible off-ramp for both sides?
It is. It is. I think Saudi is a trust partner with Western, and United Arab Emirates. They have the capacity to build the data centers. They have the capacity to feed that data center with energy, and also they have the capacity to create jobs on that data center. And this is good for our nations as well.
We see our own local refocusing and shifting our attention to cybersecurity, technological services, the new upcoming digital infrastructure.
What we need. Anyway, that's what we need, because this is the future economy.
So this is the future to our diversification.
This is the future economy. It's the oil now. Out of that, the past 50 years, oil used to be the consumer commodity.
Okay.
Now oil is not a consumer commodity. Now oil is an input in the technology.
So it's more essential than it's ever been before.
Yeah, because the lead in the economy will be the technology, not the oil. So for that reason, still we are holding our place, number one, in energy and in data centers.
Correct.
But we are not involving on the conflict between East and West in controlling because we are in a race.
But we are seeing some escalations happening right now. We've noticed in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, they've told the military attaché and the embassy staff of Iran to leave the country within 24 hours.
Yeah.
As well as in Qatar, we saw them label them as persona non grata.
And we'll see them somewhere else.
Perhaps
within the next couple of days. Yeah, I think we will see, because Iran is not understanding the lesson. It is good for Iran to be part of the GCC, because we are sharing the same corridors and we are sharing the same commodity.
Do you mean expanding the GCC to include Iran?
No. I mean
to be reliable partner,
business partner with GCC. Why is that? Let's make a comparison between the two blocks, Iran and the GCC. GCC is a wealthy state. Their people are wealthy and one of the amongst the highest income on the world. In Iran, 50% poor. Number one in the world in immigration, heads immigration. And by the way, they have a good schools, they have a good engineering.
True.
But those good engineers, they could not find the business that they can work with because of the sanction. There is no semiconductors, nothing in the technology. They are just blocked on doing technology.
They're in their local domestic production.
So there is no development. So good heads will leave the countries anyway.
So you're saying that there would be traffic moving from Iran to the GCC to support
It's not GCC. They are going to Canada, United States, in Europe.
But you're saying for the future cooperation.
The future, because Iran is not listening. We build together a good economy for us and for them, using their heads, developing their country, because they need at least $400 billion in developing their oil fields.
So it will be a combination of our investments, our data centers, and their technical expertise.
Exactly. That's what we want.
We saw the Turkish foreign minister say that the Gulf states and Iran, after this war, have to come to some agreement on how to deal with each other. Regarding the Strait of Hormuz particularly, he said they will impose a new regime.
This is what we hope. But Iran is not easy to take out
of the situation.
Of the situation. Why? Because within Iran has a problem. I can explain Iran similar to Lebanon. Hezbollah and the government.
Okay.
Same as there.
So would you say it's the IRGC and the civilian government of
exactly,
Iran?
because they control 40% of Iran GDP. Do you think they are willing to go away and say bye?
I don't think anyone would give up
no
that
one,
40%.
Another thing, Iran has another, beside the proxy war, they can deal with Al-Qaeda, they can deal with ISIS, they can deal with other militia, and they are feeding them. Anyway, during the last 30 years, they are feeding them. So what happened? The next step, it's not the war, because I believe that United States and Israel will come out with an agreement with Iran to close up Hormuz, and they create something similar to controlled by the United States or international coalition to control Hormuz.
So you think this is the solution? Will it be an international coalition to bring both parties to an agreement?
This is what happened. I believe this is what will happen next, and that's what we don't like it anyway. In GCC, I believe it's not good for us.
Why would it not be good for us?
Because once another military going on Hormuz, they will control our relationship, business partners.
So we are seeing them demand $2 million per vessel to pass through the strait right now. So this is unfavorable conditions for the other countries in the Gulf.
Another thing, they will control our relationship with China, with other countries as well, because they put pressure on us not dealing with them.
To not deal with China? To deal with Iran instead of China?
No, Iran will be... See, Iran will be stopped, but it will not solve. Their problem will not solve. The problem now, it will be solved through Hormuz, making the vessel going and coming. But the problem with that, they will control our deals with other countries. So as long as you have some military there, sometimes might be affecting you. So why? I believe that's why Saudi Arabia last week calling for a conference with Islamic League. And I think part of that to at least bringing a coalition, Islamic coalition, that can be controlling the Arabian Sea and Hormuz.
What can you tell us about Iran's condition for vessels passing through will have to trade on the yuan? Is there not a chance that the Gulf nations will accept this condition, or you think it's impossible?
No, it's impossible, and I don't think it will work anyway, because why is that? They're trying to bring the Chinese vessels, allowing the Chinese vessel to come in. Otherwise, no one will deal with that. And we are not willing to pay for moving around Hormuz. This is
it's not beneficial to our currency.
I think this is something showing us weak, and we have the right to move on through Hormuz, whether Iran like it or not. It is an international
waters, correct.
And we will not accept that. But this is bargaining power of Iranian militia to ask and to move the discussion, or in case they will stop that war, on this place. That's by the way, Iranian is very good in negotiation. They kept and they are willing to negotiate 10 years from now, and you receive nothing.
So then let's say this negotiation goes on for 10 years and the closure of the strait continues for 10 years. What does this mean for the global economic market?
It will be an international war. So Iran enemy now, not the GCC, not the United States, not Israel, nothing. Iran enemy will be the whole world, because
but this is their strategy.
I think they are just making that card, but with reality they will not be able to sustain.
So you don't think the economic pressure on the economic global system will be enough to push America to give into some conditions to Iran?
It's not about United States closing Hormuz. It's not about the United States.
It's about the global world.
The whole world.
But this is Iran's strategy in this conflict, to pressure the international community, to pressure America.
They will be kicked out, for sure. They will be kicked out.
Do you think if they kick them out of this international system, this begins, or this decides the era of a bipolar world? Now you've created the Western system,
Yeah.
and now this counter system that you've been talking about.
Yeah, the thing is, Iran, I'm not a politician, but from an economic perspective, what happened if the Iranian government knocked down? There is no substitute for that government at this stage.
Correct.
That problem will have a consequences in Iraq as well. Iraq controlled by that government. Anyway, we see government, but still their militia
There's a lot of
everywhere
influence
in Iraq.
in the country.
So what happened? It will complicate Iraq, and we don't want to have that, because in Kuwait we have almost 300 kilometers borders with Iraq. Saudi Arabia has almost more than 2,000 kilometers with Iraq. This will be complicated everywhere, and as I mentioned to you, they are feeding other militias, ISIS, Qaeda, and others. So they are willing to do anything. That's why we don't want to mess with Iran at this stage, and we need to keep distant with that government and trying to smooth transformation or changing the regime, smooth changing. It's not harsh changing. I think most of the leaders are killed. But still, the problem is the military within the Iran and the civilian government.
So is your point that Iran will continue to be there? They will be the neighbors after this war, many
Whether
years
we
to come
like
in the
it or
future?
not.
So we have to find a way to get along with
They
them.
were our neighbors, and they will still our neighbor. Whether this government, well, our problem is with the government. It's not with the Iranian people. It's not with the Iranian land. It's the government that's trying to complicate things. And by the way, they are not benefiting from this. It's a proxy war for them. They're fighting for the interest of Chinese and Russian. Now, who's benefiting from the situation here? Russia?
So that brings us to the next question. Who is benefiting in the short term right now?
In the short term, oil producer other than GCC, Russia, China, putting pressure on Europe.
Now, doesn't the Strait put pressure on China? We do see that their vessels are being let through, but if the conflict escalates in the Strait, does this not put their oil supply at risk as well?
It has an oil risk, but still it has another issue, because China is the world manufacturer. So they will put pressure on Europe as well because of that.
So now
So they don't want to mess with China, by the way. They hate China, yes, but still China has most of the American companies are producing their products in China.
True.
So they need to build a balance of bargaining.
So this is a very messy entanglement of pressures.
It is.
One pressure going this way, another pressure going through
And
this
link
market.
it with the Russian-Ukrainian war. So now I think...
Would you say these are two proxy battles of the same war?
But with Russian and Ukraine it's not involved directly. It is indirectly because of Russia and European Union.
This is a more direct confrontation
This
with
is
the two sides.
China, Iran, and GCC, United States, Europe, and Israel. It's a direct conflict. Yes, everybody has an agenda, but still we have a direct. We have interest with China. We don't want to change the regime in Iran in a military
sense.
set. We are not dealing with Israel, but there are some interests coming together in some points. And by the way, I need to mention something here, because we hear that in the Middle East, because they believe that it is a religious war, it is and so, it's conflict and so, and Israel is trying to expand their border from the river to the sea. This is, maybe it is true, but not at this time. The Israeli involvement this time is to secure the technology they have. By the way, the only country benefiting from the changes here is Israel, because Israel has a data centers as well as they have energy. Mediterranean Sea gas allow Israel to feed their data centers, as well as to export almost 10 million cubic meter to Europe.
What if this gets attacked? What if the Iranian regime attacks the data centers and this gas pipeline?
Do you believe that?
I mean, everything that's been happening in the last 3 weeks is unprecedented.
Iranian government sent missiles almost 4 or 6 times what is sent to Israel,
True.
to GCC.
True. But in case of escalation?
Still, I don't think it will be very effective. Israel is way far from their effective missile. But still, they have the options to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they are looking for that, because us are closer and will increase the uncertainty of supplies, because 20%. Israel is just 10 million cubic foot or meter, I can't recall that.
Mm-hmm.
But it can be substituted by the American LNG.
True. And now, is this war a way to sort of get Europe and other countries in the world to shift their focus and their purchasing to the U.S. supply at a higher rate?
That's, yeah, I think this is when Iran sent the missile to Qatar,
mm-hmm.
it stopped 70% of LNG market. So what happened? And let's go back 2 months ago. President Trump put tariff 25% of any country that's not buying the LNG from the United States.
Mm-hmm.
They've been asking to buy from the LNG companies in the United States. Otherwise, I will put 25% tariff. Now, Iranian people, Irani send the missiles to the Qatar and taken out 17% of. Now all the supplies coming from Qatar will be shifted to the United States. Who is the benefit? Is the United States an enemy to Iran? With this view, I don't think so.
So you think both sides are sort of justifying the other's existence, using this war to justify their existence?
I don't think so. This is
too far.
Too far. But either they are stupid, and I believe this is the main point, or they are allies. But I don't think they are allies anyway. I mean, but what they are doing right now, they are helping United States economy, and they're helping Israeli economy. LNG in Israel just increased by more than 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
LNG in the United States selling to Europe and other partner we used to have, Korea, Southern Korea, or Japan, and also oil, with the control of Venezuela. That's the United States will control almost 30% of the oils
in the world.
So that's why what will make the oil prices stable.
Doctor, we're quickly running out of time. So before we conclude, I'd just like to ask you one last question. What is the best case scenario for getting out of this crisis?
I believe Hormuz will be taken out from Iran, mm-hmm. and it will be either international coalition or Islamic coalition controlling Hormuz, and there will be an American troops within that place to avoid the conflict between that coalition and the Iranian government. But I believe that the government also of Iran will be changed dramatically, and now they are sending good signs. Mm-hmm. And I feel the things will go on our favor as well.
Well, Doctor, I'd just like to thank you once again for taking the time, joining us here to shed light on the economic impact that this crisis is going to have on the world, and your interesting approach and theory on the true underlying motives of this war.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Awwad Alnassafi from Al-Yamama University in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Now, as we come to the end of this special coverage, we have followed together the latest developments surrounding the ongoing regional escalation, along with their political, security, and economic implications. Throughout this program, we have heard from experts and correspondents across the region and around the world, reflecting the complexity of the situation and the importance of continued vigilance and awareness. While the developments continue to evolve, efforts remain focused on containing tensions and preserving stability, both regionally and internationally. We will, of course, continue to monitor events closely and bring you all the latest updates as they unfold. Until then, we thank you all for joining us. Have a good evening and stay tuned for the latest news and updates in our 7 o'clock news bulletin. Thank you for watching.